You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. Now, all week we have Mrs. Kimberly Hahn on the podcast sharing her wisdom about taking the ordinary house that we live in and transforming it into a place of holiness, a true home where saints can grow up. So we've asked her questions all week, and our question for her today is, why does eating together as a family matters so much? Why can't we just grab a plate and head to our room? Why is it important that we sit and eat together?
I think because sports and a lot of play practices have now begun to be scheduled during dinner time, it is so easy to just scatter instead of having dinner time be that regathering that we really need. And I think this is one blessing of COVID. When all of that shut down, people had a chance to find each other again around the dinner table. And I really hope that they will take that to heart. Maybe some parents could be a little more proactive and say to the person who's directing the play or having practices, we will have a dinner hour. And so how can I have an hour with my family? My mom's perspective was, dinner is the time that I welcome the family back from the storms of life. You know, there have been the challenges that we've all faced during the day. Maybe there was a struggle with a friend, or someone didn't get a good grade in school, or it's just been too hot or too cold, or whatever the challenges are during the day. Dinner is that time to gather around the table. And it's not about what is served as much as how it is served. There's a Proverbs 15:17, quote, "Better is dinner with herbs where love is than a fatted ox and hatred with it." We can sit at a dinner table, and if we are out of relationship with each other, it's a miserable meal. And we can have leftovers or a meatless dinner on Friday. And because we're in right relationship, it's a feast. It's a feast of love. We also have the opportunity on Sundays in a particular way to reflect our dinner time with what we've just celebrated in the Eucharist. For years, Scott and I adopted kind of a Puritan model of trying so hard not to do work on Sundays that we made it a paper plate meal. 20 years, we made it really simple. It was like an indoor picnic meal, whether we were indoors or out. It did allow for a lot of hospitality, but we were trying to keep it simple, throw away the plates, and then minimize my work. 20 years into it, I said to Scott, we never eat in the dining room. We don't use crystal. We don't use silver. We don't use china. Our children don't know how to sit at that kind of elegant meal. And here we're feasting on the Eucharist. We are receiving Jesus, body, blood, soul, and divinity, celebrating the resurrection every Sunday. We should reflect that in our homes. He was like, make it happen. So we did. We broke out all of that. And it was such a dramatic improvement. We lingered at the table a good couple of hours, sharing, writing down our good thing of the whole week. And it is possible to have a feast of love, which speaks deeply.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow. But until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Hahn. I wrote Graced and Gifted, Biblical Wisdom for the Homemaker's Heart, to help us take the very mundane tasks, the often repeated tasks of homemaking, and find the way that, as St. Teresa of Lisieux said, we can do little things with great love. Each act, even though we are repeating the act, and the acts themselves are not changing, we change because we're yielding our heart that much more to our Lord. And by His grace, we do as much of His will as we can in a day. And just know that at the end of the day, when we haven't done everything we intended, the day has still gone according to plan.
To grab your own copy of Graced and Gifted Biblical Wisdom for the Homemaker's Heart by Kimberly Hahn, a book we highly recommend for your upcoming women's group this fall, just check for a direct link in the notes for this podcast episode.
This show is a production of the Spoke Street Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.